Steve! Oh my goodness! Yeah! Holy sh!
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today, hopefully be a nice short video for you. Heading over to go get a, I don't know if it's mid to late 70s, F150 Shortbed 4-wheel drive. It's been abandoned in its grave for 4 years. It's got a 300 straight 6 in it, so yeah, of course it'll run. If the carburetor is any good, that's the only thing that's bad about the 306s. Anyway, I'm going to head over there. It's actually in the next town over. So let me show you what all I'm taking here. Got some, just a very basic toolkit in this case. Penetrating oil, a couple springs, some hose clamps, power steering fluid, brake fluid, motor oil. What's the other one? Oh, 2 power steering fluids. Yeah, you know how them old 70s Fords are. Ratchet strap, battery, a little bit of wiring, a brain box. There's a starter solenoid there, tank of air, even though I'm told the tires should be up on it. A little gas tank, a little electric fuel pump, and I need to run into town to fill this gas can. And I got some antifreeze here. So let's go get it going and see if this thing will drive home. Yeah, I like to take the diesel pump just to piss the diesel bro-dozer guys off. Hasn't happened personally yet, but still the idea of it. Alright, here she is. I came over here a couple weeks ago and checked this out. It had different tires and wheels on it. It was a cold, miserable day then, so I just gave it a quick once over. Told him that I was interested. Got it reasonably cleaned out, as you can see. Not surprisingly, she's a rot box. Let me put the keys in it for me. Yep. See the wheel well there's rusted through. Yeah, all the tires are up. Not in great shape, but if she'll run, those ought to make the trip home. Snake. Ooh. There we go. I don't know if this is a dealer add-on or what, but it does have some sort of air conditioning on it. Anyway, let's get started. Got fluid in both of them. That's good. Although, with a manual transmission, I would still drive it home with no brakes. Can't feel anything. Little dipstick's way down here. Seems pretty good. Dirty but full. And finally, yeah, that's good too. I'll throw a little antifreeze in it and, well, let's see if it'll crank first. This could be a major problem. Cable is broken right there. So it's not fitting tight enough. I don't think it's going to crank. I did not bring another clamp with me. I might be able to shave some of that off of there and then squeeze it down enough. Well, as you saw there, I was having a hell of a time sawing through that. I didn't bring near enough tools. All I had was the little saw blade edge on my knife here. But I just went ahead and took off the broken piece, gave it a squeeze, and it seems to be making pretty decent contact. Let's see what happens. Alright, we got cranky. Let's add some fuel. Well, as you can see, I've done my signature move of putting the tank up on the roof. It's gravity feeding to the fuel pump, which is leaking. Oddly enough, it's also feeding fuel to the carburetor, as it should, even though the fuel pump is not pumping at the moment. And it is leaking too. Anyway, let's see what happens. Waiting for this train to get by so I can quiet down a little bit, but yeah, it's just leaking everywhere. Well there, did you catch what it did? It cranked for just like maybe half a crank there and stopped. I'm wondering now if the time I spent waiting for that damn train to go by, all these carburetor leaks, there was an internal one too, and it leaked clear down into the engine and into a cylinder, and now it's hydrolocked. Well, I was able to back the engine up just a little bit using the fan. Let's see what happens when I try to crank it again now. If you watch the fan blade there, you can see it kicks just a little bit. Maybe if I keep at it, I can push that cylinder out, push the fuel out through the rings or something if I wait a little bit and then hit it a few times. Or maybe my battery's crap. I think the battery's crap. Well, it appears I came very ill-equipped for this. I have no jumper cables, and my battery's crap. I guess I'm just going to call it a day. Go home and come back tomorrow with some more stuff. Alright, got the battery pulled out. Take that home. I was told by the owner that the throttle is sticky. But I'm not getting that. The cable appears to be free. It's just, you look over here. I don't think it's showing up because it's not focusing. There. You can see the cable's moving. Apparently it's the pedal that's stuck. Alright, I got the penetrating oil here. I've been spraying this, trying to get it freed up, but I don't seem to be gaining anything. So, I think what I'll do, I'll go ahead and pull this pedal out, take it with me tonight, see if I can get it freed up at home, and if that fails, I'll see if I have another one I can put in here. I'm also going to see what I got for a carburetor that's maybe a little better than that one up there, that Leak-O-Matic. Alright, so here's the pedal. It is definitely locked up in here. Without it being in the truck, I cannot exert enough leverage on it to even budge this with just my hands. I think what I'm going to try to do is I'll take it home, I'll drill a couple of small holes in it in this plastic housing, see if I can get some penetrant worked into it that way. That or it's just going to break it. I don't think I have another one quite like this. As you can see, I also took the carburetor off. I think I've got one at home without quite so much emissions crap on it. But taking the carburetor off gave me the opportunity to look down into the intake. And as you can see, well, if it would focus, you can see it. There is actual gasoline down in there. That is what caused the engine to lock up temporarily. Anyway, I think I'm done here for today. I'll go home, see if I can't work some magic on those components. Alright, here we are at home. This is the carb I took off the truck. This is what I already had. They are pretty much the same thing, other than this has this little dash pot thing on it, which I suppose might be for the air conditioning factor of the other truck, and then this other weird little dash pot. I don't know, but basically the carbs are the same. This one does not have an electric choke. Whatever, I'm going to pop both of them open, see if maybe I can't make one work or make one out of two or whatever. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't do something about getting this pedal freed up. Drill, like I said, a couple small holes through the plastic and get some sort of lubrication in there, get that freed up. All right, let that soak for a while I go work on these carburetors. I'm really skeptical that this is going to work. I've never run into this before. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever seen one with a plastic base. All the other ones I've seen were like kind of an aluminum or pot metal type. If I remember right, I don't think I've ever seen one of these. My guess is the plastic, as it's aged, has just kind of seized up. If this doesn't work, I might try heating up the plastic, and that might make it relax a little bit. But I'm afraid, yeah, once it cools off, it'll probably grip it again. But I guess I got nothing to lose. I can't really make it any worse. All right, got them both tore open. Another difference I found, this one I already had flathead screws. This one has Phillips. Whoopity-doo. Anyway, looks like a fairly simple carburetor design. I think I've already said it before. I've never messed with one of these. This accelerator pump is kind of has me a bit confused. Looks to me like as you work the throttle, this arm comes up. That part is for sure. Which seems to me that it acts on this rod and pulls up. And the top side of the diaphragm squirts fuel through this little flexible line and goes through the housing there into the little squirter nozzle. But it's free. It just isn't working quite like I'm seeing it in my head like it should. See if I got enough hands here to show you. I don't think I do. Let me put this on the stand. All right, see if I can show you here what's going on. It'll focus. There we go. So obviously, as you work the throttle, this thing comes up. Now it does act on that rod, but you would think there would be something to return it. I don't believe that it's bottoming out in the top half of the housing because I don't see any marks in there to indicate where it does. Yeah, crappy lighting, sorry. Anyway, I don't know why I'm worried about the accelerator pump because that's not my problem. My problem was with the needle or the float or something. I don't see anything obviously wrong with this float. So maybe there's some crap in the needle. I don't know. Honestly, my back is killing me. I think I'm going to call it a night. Go get a little relief and do a little more research on this carburetor before I turn it anymore and mess something up. I'll let the gas pedal sit and soak, and hopefully that penetrating fluid will get in there and do something. And hopefully I can get a good night's sleep and get out here and hit this early in the morning, get this stuff straightened up, get back over there, and get that truck home. Okay, folks, it's the next morning. What I found is, well, I didn't find anything concrete and conclusive, but I believe why these plungers are not working the way I believe they should work is because the diaphragm in there is all dried out. So I need to order a rebuild kit. So I won't be getting this truck home today, probably. Now I do have a 250 engine up in the back of a truck, came out of a Maverick Granada or something. It has a carburetor on it, looks basically the same as these, but there's a few differences. I might actually go up there and pull that off. It's been sitting up there in the back of that truck. When I brought it home from the junkyard, I had it here in the shop and got it running, and it ran good, just hanging off the engine hoist. But yeah, it's probably been 4, 5, 6 years it's been sitting out there, so it's probably going to be in the same shape as these. Let's go see how the gas pedal, if that's doing anything, because while I was up there in the field, I did look in the truck, and it has the same gas pedal. So that may not be a loss. I am sorry about all the sniffling in this video. I am working on some sort of a head cold right now, as you can probably tell by my voice. But yeah, I was editing some of the video I already took yesterday, and wow, the sniffling in it was just terrible. But my apologies for that. Ooh, not good. It's getting some rust out of those holes, so maybe if I keep at it. I think it's freeing up. I'm gonna have to work at it a while, but might be salvageable. All right, it's been a couple minutes. I don't know, maybe more like 5. And as you can see, I've got it freed up enough. I do not need the vise anymore. This might just pan out. All right, a couple more minutes of work, and as you can see, it is totally free. So at least I got that going for me. All right, so here's the deal with the carburetor off of that 250 straight 6. This is it right here. There are some differences. The choke is different. The hookup for the vacuum advance comes in a different spot. The main thing I'm seeing that worries me is the throw of the arm here. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but it's much shorter throw. And it might work, honestly, but I'm betting, seeing as how this thing's been sitting, like I said, to my recollection, 5 or 6 years, I'm betting it's going to be in the same shape as these. And even if this did work, if I went over there and threw it on there, I was planning on rebuilding one of these anyway. So I just as well do that from the get-go. It's only like, I think, $18 for a rebuild kit for this from Rock Auto, so I'm going to go get that thing ordered. Yeah, just won't be getting that truck home today, unless I go over and trailer it over. And honestly, it's not a big deal. I didn't have any schedule, and I wanted to get this video out sooner. And in those couple days I'm waiting for that kit to get here, it's not like I don't have plenty of other things to work on here. All right, another development. Might be able to pull this off today yet after all. The owner told him it was probably going to be a couple days before I got over there and explained to him why. He said he's got a brand new carburetor in a box. He'd throw it in the front seat. He doesn't know if it's exactly for that. It's just a Ford 1-barrel carburetor that's brand new. Of course, it's been sitting around a long time too, but I figure it's worth going over there and checking out. While I'm going over there, I'll throw the gas pedal on. And if that carburetor does work out, I went ahead and pulled the fuel pump off of this old truck. If you remember it, it's the one we took to Cape Girardeau 2 years ago. She was a real champ. And if that other truck pans out, this intake and header might end up on it too. Anyway, I gotta get going, figure out if this is gonna pan out today. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Yeah, he wasn't kidding, that is a Motorcraft diesel, not a Chinese knockoff. It looks pretty good. Let me go compare it to the old one I brought, and then I'll swing into action maybe. Alright, I got the used fuel pump on, got the gas pedal on. I was getting started putting the carburetor on, but like a dummy, I left all the vacuum lines and the little piece of harness for hooking up the electric choke and the fitting, the inlet fitting, at home. This is why I prefer to drag my vehicles home and revive them at home. I got the charged up battery in there. Let's make sure it's not still hydrolocked. Surely all that gas that was in the cylinders is drained out, if there's anything even left. If I can... Okay, it runs. I did not expect that. All right. Well, that kind of goes without saying. That's great. It's not still locked up, and it does run. It has spark. I just got to finish up the equation with that carburetor. All right, I'm already here. I got the antifreeze. I just will pour some in the radiator to see any more surprises before I come back. Sure is taking a lot. Took about 3/4 of a gallon. Let's check for leaks. All right, looking pretty good. We'll see when we get back. All right, here we go. Got the fuel inlet in. Got everything blocked off here that doesn't need. This is the only thing I'll need for the vacuum advance. Got that blocked. And I'm ashamed to say this, but I should know, but I believe this has just a slight amount of vacuum on it to pull hot air through the choke housing. It was just hanging out there in the open on that truck, so I just went ahead and blocked it off. I assume it's rusted away or broken off or something to the fact it was not even doing anything, so I just went ahead and blocked it off. All right, let's run back over there, slap that on, see what happens before I run out of time today. See how many more trips I have to make and something I've forgotten. All right, we are back. Coolant looks good. No visible leaks underneath. I think we're good. I think we're golden there. Now, even though this carburetor is new, I still have fears that it's sat around long enough that the accelerator diaphragm has dried out and maybe the needle's stuck, but I guess we shall find out. just from what little I drove from over there, the steering's kind of notchy. It seems like the power steering's working, there's just something catching. I don't know if there's something internal with the box. It doesn't seem to be loose on the frame. I've seen before where these U-joints in the steering right here can get froze up and that can cause that. But we're going to drive her home anyway. I think before I get going, I've got one little test I'm going to see if the charging system's working. Yep. Alright, I'm going to throw my tools and the gas can into here and we are going to go. Well, I made it 10 miles home from where this truck was abandoned in its grave for 4 years. Anyway, yeah, I'm just being a little facetious. People that take a clapped out rig that hasn't ran in 20 years and get it running and take it on a long road trip, that's legit. I guess my little pet peeve is the overuse of the word abandoned when it comes to vehicle revivals. But anyway, there's definitely something wrong with the steering. I don't know, there's something sloppy in it too, if that's related to the catchiness in it, or if those are two separate things. But yeah, coming downhill on some of that loose gravel, it was kind of a white knuckle at times. I don't think I ever went over 50 miles an hour. Most of the time I was going 40, just because of the steering. A lot of times that old 300 would just grunt its way up those hills in 4th gear, testament to the low end torque that they make. Brakes are there, and that's about all I can say for that. I think the rear brakes were working and not the fronts. Maybe the rubber lines are collapsed where the pressure's not getting through. I don't know what. The thing is definitely not ready to be driven on the road. It would need a lot of work. But anyway, I am all dusty because of that drive with the rust holes, and I have to get to town for my appointment. So I think I got just enough time to take a shower and get out of here. Excuse me. Alright, it's the next afternoon. Kind of windy out here. Here, get next to the building and get out of some of this wind. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this truck, but you know, when someone tells you they have a dent side shortbed 4-wheel drive Ford truck for sale, you don't say, sorry, I'm not interested. You go and buy it. Now that it's home, well, even before I got it home, there's two visual things about this thing that really irk the hell out of me. and I'm going to do something about that today before I wrap this video up. Obviously, the first thing is the camper shell. But the second thing, and the more important one, is these stupid ass running boards. I don't know what it is about these running boards around here. Every truck virtually that I buy, whether it's for parts or to use as a driver or a project, has these stupid damn things on them. They look awful. So let's get all that crap off there, maybe clean it up just a little bit. This ain't gonna be anything extensive for cleaning. And evaluate what the rust is. That will help me decide what I'm going to do with this truck in the future. Because honestly, there's been times where I've had a job to do where the Ranger wasn't quite enough truck, but my 1-ton van and a trailer was just way too much. There'd be times where having a half-ton would be pretty nice. Look at that. Nobody can tell me that that doesn't look better without those awful, horrid running boards. If anybody knows who invented those damn things, you let me know, because I want to go find their grave and spit on it. Anyway, the wind's getting kind of brutal out there, as you might have been able to tell, or maybe not. I don't know if I was going to be able to get this camper shell off. Well, I know I can get it off. All I got to do is undo the clamps and let the wind take it. But I don't really so much care about the camper shell. I just don't know where it's going to go and what damage it's going to do to other stuff. And so yeah, I decided to pull it in here. Plus that gets me out of the wind. I was just getting beat to death out there with dust. Anyway, it is not looking good, which I suspected it wasn't for that bed from what I saw underneath there. The cab might be salvageable, but in my opinion it's pretty bad too, not surprisingly, but the bed is really bad. Most of the floor is gone. There's like a rubber bed mat in there and it's just falling through. The cross members on the bed are just rotted away. Yeah, anything's salvageable with enough money, talent, and ambition, which I do not have that much for this. But anyway, let's continue. Kind of surprised the tailgate opened. Here's what I'm kind of talking about. I hope it'll pick it up. When I push down on the tailgate, yeah, you can see the corner of the bed there flex. I don't know if it's picking it up or not, but yeah, check out the front there. Gone. It's going to be kind of treacherous getting in there to get these clamps off. Fall through the floor. Well now, the proof is in the pudding or something like that. Box is definitely too far gone. You know, we all know that anything's salvageable, like I said, if you got enough money and ambition. Even that being so, this box could be saved, but a person would be better off going out and finding a better one for all the time and expense you'd have in this one. But anyway, let's see if I can get this camper shell off. It'll probably be pretty safe until I get it outside into the wind. Well, I only managed to salvage 3 of the clamps. The other 3 threads were seized up and I had to cut them. Even more important, I should have been videoing this because I actually fell through the floor right there in the process of doing that. And there we go. Even though we know the rust is terrible and it actually is a terrible truck, at least it looks better sitting around here. Well, as usual, I'm losing my light. So I'm going to show you the rust in the floors from above. And it's pretty bad. I went in and ripped all the floor liner out and everything because it was crap anyway. I don't know, the cab could be salvageable. I think you'd be better off finding something better, but it could be patched up good enough to make it usable. It wouldn't be show truck worthy, because as you can imagine, it's not just the floor skin that needs to be done. As you can see by this support structure here, it is pretty crusty too. Also, you can see there the suspension bushings, those would need to be changed out. So yeah, this would not make an easy candidate to get going on the road, but it could be done. Let me show the other side because there's something interesting going on over there. Now right after I took the running boards off, I kept thinking I was smelling something smoldering, like a melting plastic smell. And it kind of went away. But then when I got in here to pull the flooring out, yeah, so it's a good thing I did do that. I might have burned my rust pile down. Now, initially the floor doesn't look that bad on this side, but yeah, it is. I'm kind of surprised that there's any cab mounts left. You know, they are crusty and there ain't much there, but you would have thought, as bad as the rest of the truck is, that the front of the cab would have been sunk down. Now I'm running out of time and it's getting cold out here. I knew the temperature was going to drop this afternoon, but boy, it is going down fast. And to think I almost came out here in shorts this afternoon, it was so nice out. As far as the steering goes, I'm pretty sure it's that U-joint that's in the column. Because I noticed when I was maneuvering it to get the truck in here, the steering wheel would get stiff every 180 degrees, exactly in the same spot. Which leads me to believe it's that U-joint, because I have run into that with this style of truck before. The sloppiness in it, when I drove it home, it wasn't excessive, but there was a little bit there. And this is a very common thing with this style of truck too. The mid to late 70s half tons, they have a track bar that runs from the frame here to the axle down here. And they're always either the bushing up here is shot or the bolt has egged out the hole, or sometimes both. So I'm guessing that is going to be an issue too. Not a big deal. Those are fixable. Like I said, if I was a betting man, I would bet that those were the problems with the steering. Now then, what could I do with this truck? I'll tell you, I paid $700 for it. My hope was that it was going to be clean enough I could do something with it, even though I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be pretty rusty. I wasn't expecting the bed to be nearly that bad. But the cab, that doesn't surprise me. Around here, I've seen my share of old vehicles that have sat around. They don't even have to sit around, just being here in the Rust Belt. So the fact that it's not likely for me to fix it and make it a driver, not impossible, but not likely. You know, I have my limitations just like you guys, time-wise and money-wise. But anyway, that could be one possibility. A more likely possibility, patch up the cab enough to make it a beater wheeler. That would be kind of fun. Or what I was figuring when I bought this most likely would happen to it, it would end up as either one, a parts truck, because it's got all the good four-wheel drive stuff in it, Dana 44 front, 9-inch rear, it's got the 205 transfer case, 4-speed, 306. But what I was more thinking of, expecting this kind of rust, this would make a good chassis donor for some sort of a four-wheel drive car project. Right now, I know where there's a old muscle car at, and if my research is correct, it has the exact same wheelbase as this. Or that 65 Comet that I did a couple weeks ago, it is only a couple inches off of this. I think a couple inches shorter. So that's always a possibility too, just having a good, solid, everything's there in the chassis. So what I will do with it, I don't know, but I have it. Right, Kitty? Eh? Eh? But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Man, that looks so much better out in the open without that topper and those stupid running boards on it. You really got something now. I really want to fix that up now. Oh well, we'll see. I got too damn many projects as it is. That would make a sharp truck.